to try to figure out how we could build bridges, how we could work with them with the White House agenda and their agenda. But part of my job, it seemed to me, that I realized is that to figure out ways to get beyond the old separations and divisions that told us that only this group could benefit and that group could not benefit. Particularly, I discovered this as a black gay man. I discovered that there were divisions between the African American community and the gay and lesbian community. What would happen to me often is that people from one group would tell us that we had to focus on their agenda, but we couldn't focus on another agenda instead. And what I would suggest instead is that you could focus on both agendas. That we didn't have to get involved in this debate that said that if you only focused on affirmative action, then that meant you couldn't focus on protecting other groups of people. And I wanted to figure out how we could get beyond that. And that was part of what engaged me in this whole discussion about building bridges and building coalitions that go beyond our narrow self-interest. I think that most of us understand the whole concept of coalition building. But I want to ask you a question. How many of you, just raise your hand, if have ever been in what you consider to be some sort of coalition, of a group of people outside of your own self-interest? Just raise your hand if you've ever been in any sort of coalition. Just 2 people?
A lot of us here are running for student government, so I guess that would be.
Student government is a perfect example of a coalition. You know why? Because you're taking together different people from different constituencies and creating coalitions to make things happen. Government itself is an example of coalition building. Government doesn't exist because one person or one group of people decides to do everything. Look at what is happening today in our politics. Even though President Clinton is on the verge of getting a 60-seat majority in the United States Senate, which would give him a filibuster-proof ability to pass legislation, with the 60th vote coming from the Minnesota election, which is still undecided, Al Franken being the likely senator. But at 60 votes, you would think he could do whatever he wants, right? That he could elect and select anyone he wants, nominate anyone he wants to the Supreme Court or to any other judicial position, that he could appoint anyone he wants.